Hey guys, so I wanted to show you what I've been working on in my journal this week. I have been doing portraits. And so this was my reference photo. And here is... Oops. Here's the picture that I did. Sort of looks like her, but it sort of takes on their own life, which is what I want them to do. And then here's another one. Here is what I used for the reference photo. I think this probably looks a little more like her. I have problems with noses, so that's something that I'm working on improving. Here's another one. Not that great, but I kind of like it anyway. This is the one from yesterday I haven't put up, but I ended up adding a bunch of red berries and white lines to it. I'm not sure why. This one I have the reference photo. This one looks like a guy with a 5 o'clock shadow, but this was the reference photo. But you know, whatever. The point is to get started, and then it kind of takes its own thing. So there's that. I really like these. This one was from a magazine. This one I like a lot, probably my favorite of all of the ones that I'm showing you. And so what I was thinking I would do, just a quick video on how I make the sketch. And you can see it kind of bleeds through, so I'll end up painting that and doing something different. But for my reference photo for right now, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is a picture of Johnny Depp from Edward Scissorhands. So I thought that that would be an interesting one to try. And before I start, I want to show you what I'm using. I'm experimenting. I'm not going to do a pencil sketch before I color. I'm just going to go right to it and see how it works, which is why they end up looking kind of weird, but it's cool. I am using, these are Touch Twin markers from Shinhan, and the set that I have is Warm Gray 12 colors, which is weird because two of them are the same, but you know, whatever. I always start with a medium lightness for the gray. I'm working like completely in grays. So I'm going to start with Warm Gray number 5. The reason I don't start with the darkest is because I find that if I mess up a little, it's easier to fix it with a lighter than if I start with the darker, but you'll see I go back in with the darker one. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for distinguishing. I usually start with eyebrows. He doesn't have eyebrows, but I'm going to start in that general area. And I'm forming the basic shape where there's dark, like where there's darkness. I'm forming the basic shape. I'm ignoring his hair for right now. It's not going to look exactly right, and that's okay. Now we have Alright, that's my basic shape. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit lighter, Warm Gray number 3. I'm just adding some everywhere where I did the darker lines. I'm adding some light. I'm going to go even lighter with warm gray number 1. Again, I'm going over all of the darker lines. And I'm just following where I see the shadow in the picture. It's easier to work from a black and white picture, at least for me. It helps me see where the shadows are. When I try to work with color, it sometimes confuses me a little. But it's good practice in black and white for a while, then you get a better sense of it for when you switch to color. Alright, so now he's pretty good. You know, he's not, I'm not saying he's like the greatest picture ever, but I think you get the sense of what's going on. So now I'm going to go up to a darker color. I'm going to go to warm gray number 7, which is a step up from where we started. And this time I'm going to go ahead and work on some hair. I try to work fast and not think about it too much. Since I can't really see what his hair actually looks like, I'm just kind of winging it. In my photo, it just looks all black. So my camera stopped recording, so what we missed was that I switched to warm gray number 9, which was a step up from the previous gray. And I don't use black because I feel like it's too dark. The gray is a good color here. I am trying to add the very darkest shadows that we have. And now I'm going to go back in with warm gray number 5. Just kind of smooth stuff out. and I like it. It's not perfect. It doesn't look exactly like my reference photo here. If you can, there you go, you can kind of see it there. It doesn't look exactly like it, but definitely inspired by. So I hope that perhaps you will be inspired to create a portrait in your journal this week. For these ones that I showed you earlier, I actually started with a pre-painted background, and it has, I don't know if you can see some of the texture, like I used stencils, it has some masking tape, and I actually didn't really like it that much, and so then I was like, I'm just going to draw a portrait right on top of it, and I loved the dimension that it gave to it. Same with this one, actually, was a pre-painted background just with some extra paint, and it ended up working out like just right that this side was one color, this was the other color, but that typically wasn't on purpose, it just kind of happened. So, oh, this one, same thing, extra paint. There were just some like blobs of red, and I decided to just do a face right on top of it. And while it's kind of like a weird looking face, it works. I like it. Halloween's coming. I can just say it was a Halloween face. So here's the one I just finished. Okay, have fun.